Well, it is a big deal, and I think what they're talking about, China doesn't have a lot of friends. And
they're getting more.
They're getting people who are intimidated by them. That's different than being a friend. Putin and Xi see the world the same. I've got my backyard, you got yours, I'm going to control my backyard, and China sort of wants to control the world. I think they're setting up an alliance that would allow China to provide weapons because Putin's losing. Now, when Biden does the right thing, he does it the wrong way. They should have had tanks. He should have given Ukraine weapons before the invasion. We should have punished Russia for building up troops on the border. Biden didn't want to be provocative. It's not fear. They don't respect Biden. After Afghanistan, everything has gone south.
So, Senator, one thing is pretty clear. They wouldn't have any weapons. They wouldn't have had any training if the Trump administration didn't put that in there. So why does it you think that Donald Trump seems to have a different policy now, even though he's out of power, about saying, and then you have Governor DeSantis say this is more of a territorial dispute? It's a little bit, they're thinking along the same way, but that's not thinking the way you're thinking.
Well, I think they're sort of influenced by polls. You know, America's not an aggressive nation by nature. We don't want to go take things of others, and that's good because we're very powerful. But here's what I would tell the American people. If you think Putin invading Ukraine doesn't affect you, then you're making a mistake. He's trying to rewrite the map of Europe by force of arms. He's kidnapping children. How would you like to have your child kidnapped by a foreign government and sent to another country? He's facing an arrest warrant from the ICC, and China is watching our every move. If you believe Taiwan's important to us, Taiwan goes if Putin's successful in Ukraine. Here's the good news. With the right help, no soldiers on the ground by us, weapons, they can beat the Russians, and China sees that. China's biggest nightmare is for their one real ally to go down in flames in Ukraine.
So you've seen a million of these kind of high-stakes summit things like this. Tomorrow, at the end, what kind of a statement are those two countries going to say they accomplished?
I think they're going to pledge their mutual support. I think Xi is going to say that Russia's in the right. The fact that he went to Moscow tells us all we know about how he views the Ukrainian conflict. The bottom line is they're setting up a transfer of weapons because Russia is running out of weapons for their offensive in Ukraine. Now, what could Biden do that he's not doing? If you made Russia state-sponsored terrorism under U.S. law, any country that provides material support would run into our sanctions. I have been begging and pleading with Biden to make Russia a state sponsor of terrorism to deter China. We had a vote on the Senate floor urging the President Biden to do that, 100-0. They still haven't done it. They're still intimidated.
Because Biden doesn't see them as a threat. He sees them as friendly competitors.
He's trying not to lose, not to win. We're giving them enough weapons not to lose, but not enough weapons to win.
So are you concerned about the District Attorney Bragg, Alvin Bragg, indicting President Trump next week in an unprecedented way, and the circus that would be around that?
Yeah, it's going to blow up our country, and this is a bunch of BS. You've had the prosecutor before Bragg, Mr. Vance, look at the case and pass on it. You had the U.S. Attorney in New York say, I'm not going to do it federally. There was an intervening cause other than Trump running. One of the guys in the DA's office wrote a book very critical of Vance. You should have prosecuted Trump. You let him off, and Bragg feels that pressure. He's a George Soros-backed prosecutor. He can't take the heat. So the guy is yielding to the political pressure generated by the former prosecutor, and this is a case without merit, in my view. Donald Trump will be the only person in the history of New York prosecuted under this theory.
What is your theory about now that Donald Trump has started attacking? Well, I mean, Donald Trump has been attacking Ron DeSanctimonious for a while. DeSanctimonious returned a little fire yesterday.
Well, I think if you start this thing, you better be willing to take it. I don't like it. You know, Trump's not into these thou shalt nots, the 11th commandment. That's not his thing. So here's what I would say. Well, good. It was meant to be an early joke.
Called and confirmed that.
Yeah, so the bottom line is, I think if I were Trump, which I am not, I would be running on 4 years of pretty effective president. The best is yet to come. I would say DeSantis. I picked him out of a crowd. I knew he was talented early on. I'm the guy that saw the talent. He's been a great governor, but I'm better able to be president
That'll be
the
a
next
good
4
message.
years. But that ain't going to happen.
Speaking of President Trump's record, thank you, Senator Graham, so much for your time today to talk about that.